Welcome to FYI for your information. I am Jaretta Finance joining you this wonderful morning, guys. It is Monday, the 15th of August, 2022, and it's a pleasure to be here with you to start off the week. Let us kickstart the week. How are you? How was your weekend? What are your plans to this week? You know how it is. This morning was a good morning for me. Well, halfway. But this morning I'm trying to get back in to my morning routine and get some exercise in. A lot of you tell me in the comment section when I ask how do you start your day off, you said, oh, you go for your run. And so I tried to do that this morning. So it's a good start, I have to say. It's good to have your blood pumping very early in the morning. And what else to do on a Monday morning? Share the stream. I'm seeing you guys joining us already, both on YouTube and Facebook. And you know what you have to do. It is time for you to help to share credible information. Guys, let us start Monday off on a bright note. Let us make sure that we set the mark Monday mornings. Monday mornings, I know you're probably all laid over from the weekend and all of that if you guys were out and about. I get it, but let us set the mark Monday. Let Monday be the mark that you set, that every other day have to come up to meet up with Monday. So let the shares be the most on Monday. Let the smashing of the emojis be the most on Monday. Let the comments be the most on Monday. And let the views go up the most on Monday. Let us aim for these things. We have to start the week off in a very positive note. Let me come into the comment section there. I see so many of you already coming through. I see Facebook user there. Good morning to you, Margaret Nelson. Good morning to you, Margaret. How are you doing this morning? I hope you had an excellent weekend. I see Paulette. Hey, Paulette Greaves. How are you doing? And Paulette is saying blessings and good morning from Maryland. Good morning to all the folks joining us from Maryland this morning. Hey, Paula Mattis. Paula Mattis is saying good morning to all of you. Colin Sandy says, pleasant morning, FYI team. Yes, we are in the house. We are ready to go. You know how it is. George is joining us from YouTube. Guys, and George is saying, good morning, Miss Finance. Have a blessed day. And I want to say, George, I hope you have a blessed day as well. I see Rashford coming through with the googly eyes. Rash, I don't know what you're looking at, but I'm glad you're here looking on. Brian, good morning to you. You look beautiful. Oh, thank you so much. I see, is it, I'm not sure. Pearson, good morning. I did not get your first name. Margaret Nelson says, I am at the beach soon, Jaretta. Well, Margaret, it's a different left right now. Monday morning, beach view. I can live with that. Desmond Harris says, good morning, and Jaretta and all our viewers. Good morning to you, Desmond. How you doing over there? I see Dorette David is on also. Hey, Dorette, what's going on at your end? Jordan Thompson, my goodness, I don't know what's going on with my eyes. Good morning, Jaretta and everyone listening. Hey, we see you out there. I see Deborah Peters in the house this morning, Facebook user, another Facebook user that is. I see Gladwin Bruce says, good morning, my friend. Hey, Gladwin. Lynn Fernandez. Hey, Lynn, you know the Fernandezes, we come true. Some people say Fernand, some people say Fernandez. However, to your liking, you just say it however you feel comfortable. Hey, Dallon Frank, good morning to you. Dallon says, good morning from Brooklyn. And I see Deborah Seeley says, good morning, Miss Finance. Joylyn Thompson, hey, Joylyn. Joylyn says, Jeremiah, you were looking awesome. I don't know what's going on there in the comment section, but that's a comment going through by itself. Good morning, Candace Joris. That's my best friend. For those of you who don't know, I don't really keep a lot of friends. I have probably 3. That's it. Good morning to you, Candace. Ingrid Crawford, good morning to you, Ingrid. How are you doing right now? Dawn Baines, I see Dawn Marissa. Good morning to all loyal listeners. Be safe. Loyalty, that's key, especially in the game we're in right about now. This arena is not good. It's not easy to find people that are loyal. So we have to make sure that when we find loyal people like you, wonderful folks, that we keep you close. Brenda Bradwith, hey Brenda, good morning to you. I see Alisa Hussein is joining us this morning also. And Glenford Gordon says, good morning, everyone. Have a great start. Yep, that is it. Monday morning, we have to have the best morning for us to set the mark, have to be on Monday mornings because the rest of the week, you know how it goes. We go to Tuesday. We start off on Monday, but I think we get to Tuesday. We all hype Wednesday. You say Wednesday, middle of the week, and then everything is slow pace as you go down. So let Monday morning be this whole this kickstart, this whole jump forward to a wonderful, wonderful week. Hey, Colette Davison, how are you doing this morning? I hope you're great. Respect and manners, says Dawn Baines, and respect and manners to you too. I see Beryl Crawford joining us this morning. Guys, I'm feeling myself just so hot this morning. I don't know because I had this morning run, like I said, and it just makes me feel so much hot as the hours kick by. I see Loretta. Loretta also is joining us this morning. Loretta says, "Good morning to you and the others in the family." Horace Augustus Knights. Oh, wonderful. The Knights are in the house. Wonderful, wonderful of you to join us this morning. And I have to say that, when it comes to the Knights in Bartica, that's a different level of Knights. But so lovely of you to join us this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you folks coming through. I said to Laverne Joseph asking where is Sherrod and Amanza. Well, Amanza usually is here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Sherrod is going to be up and about with you in a few. So hold tight. Hey, Camille Cox, good morning. Camille got abusing for me, but she's not going to tell you all about this, right? But let me tell you, Camille got abusing for me. I have to make things up to Camille right now. So, good morning to you, Camille. So lovely of you to join us this morning. Excellent work. For those of you who don't know Camille, they're in region number 6 doing her work. Excellent, excellent activist she is. If you have issues, you're in region 6, Camille is the person you want to go to her. You want to let her know what's going on. She is a hard worker. She gets things done. Hey, Azim Ali. Azim said, good morning, Miss Finance, New York in the house, love. Lovely of you to join us and all the folks joining us from New York. Ayabo Natasha, is it Ayabo Natasha Congreve says good afternoon. I think Ayabo is joining us somewhere in the UK. Ayabo is saying good afternoon. Kevin Nicholas. Hey, Kevin. Kevin says good morning, FYI family. Guys, the family is growing. I am looking at the map of the FYI family. I have to tell you, we are stretching near and far. We still have some difficulties when it comes to the hinterland here in Guyana, but we have to say that we have been making a lot of inroads. And guess what? I have to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out to my colleague Vincent Henry. That comes on and he looks all the way from region number 9. He makes sure that he listens to the program, and then every single time he finds information that is pertinent, especially to the indigenous community, he would make sure that he cut those clips of the video and circulate it there in those communities. I am so thankful for you, and I'm so happy that you do that because you are part of the information sharing. It's absolutely wonderful that you do that. Hey, Roxanne Garway joining us all the way out of region number 7. And I see Denise Dazzle says, sharing love. Absolutely great of you to come on this morning and share, all of you wonderful folks. You're not doing your job if you're not sharing. Come on. It's a working day. Today is a working day. Monday morning, bright and early. We're up at the clock. We are here 8 a.m. to make sure that you start the working week. The first bit of tasks you have to is share. It's simple as that. It's not that hard. Hey, Sean Carter says, good afternoon, FYI family. London in the house. Sean Carter, it's so good of you to be here with us this morning also. And how are you guys over there? I hope you're being safe. I hope everything is great. I hope the weather's to your liking. And guess what? I hope to see all of you back home at some time. Says Camille says no hard feelings. Right? Well, Camille, thank you so much. I see Rowena Cummins is here this morning. Hey, Rowena, how are you doing? Says good morning to Jaretta and my FYI family. And it is good to have you here. Gail Alicock, hey Gail, and Carl Fordyce, hey Carl, what's going on at your end? Carl always coming through. I'm so happy that you joined us early this morning. Onyx Duncan, hi Jaretta Vanessa Finance. Onyx got to call out my whole name on this program, Jaretta Vanessa Finance, just in case you didn't know. Onyx just let you know. Hey Fiona Ben, how are you doing this morning? To you and Shawnette Baines. This is Gladstone. Gladstone Matthews is here already. Well, Ayaba said shared already. So if you are not in that shared category, you got to you gotta chump up a little bit more in the morning. You have to share the information. Suresh Prasad rather is joining us all the way from our YouTube platform. Says good morning to all of you folks. And I see GT Boy is in the house this morning. When you see GT Boy coming through, you know rude girl is some way, somehow, Onyx is laughing at this thing. I see blessed up to all coming. Let me see. Let me get this. Oh, Carpenter Boy, truth teller. Listen, I can't keep up with these Facebook names. Carpenter Boy, truth teller. That's the name. I'm just calling out as I'm seeing it, guys. Hey Marlon, Lorma, how are you doing there this morning? I hope all is well. It's a proper ring, comrade. Yes, yes, Onyx. I hear you there. I hear you there. Guys, how was your weekend? Thank you for joining. Thank you for letting me know where you are joining from. I see Marlon is saying that she already shared. Sharon Alfonso Evans is saying that she already shared. I'm seeing Ingrid King in the house. I'm hoping that Ingrid is a part of that share team also. But guys, let me know what is going on at your end. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully it was relaxing and that you are off to a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. We have to do our best. We have to make sure that we take care of ourselves. Health is wealth. That's the very first thing I always say. The first thing we have to do is make sure that we are okay so that we can go forward. And guess what? I know the times are tough, and I know when it comes to the economics of things, it's even tougher. So I have to say, plan, plan, plan. Let us make sure that we can get things done in that manner. There's nothing that beats planning. Yes, we have very limited resources, and sometimes it seems very, very impossible. I know so many of you out there this morning trying to make, as we say, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. But we have to make sure that we try our best and we plan a little bit every single day so that we can at least cope in the time being with what is going on. Right, guys? It's going to be okay. We are here fighting on your behalf. And I see Trinidad is in the house there this morning. Also joining from Trinidad is Sharon Evans there. Kirk Phillips. Hey, Kirk, what's going on at your end? Hope all is great. Kirk Anthony Phillips, that is, says good morning. FYI family. Is it Bridget Campbell? It says good morning, everyone. Hey, Bridget, what's going on? Riri Mingo Garway joining all the way from Toronto. Hey Riri, I'm glad you're here this morning. And Simone Gree says, good morning, my beautiful Guyanese brothers and sisters, friends and families. Good morning to you, Simone. All those blessings that you're sending out there this morning. Great word. I absolutely love people with light personalities, persons that just give you a little bit of encouragement by just their presence. Let us not be that nagging, weighty person this morning. Let us try to have that positive energy. No matter how difficult things are, let us try to have positive energies in the morning. Yes, positive energy. Carpenter Boy, truth teller. I hope Carpenter Boy and truth teller is not truth teller on Facebook and then he out there telling us that lies, right? So I'm just saying, I hope you are true to your word. Onyx, I hope you're talking about the traffic situation yesterday. Oh my God. I'm not going to miss those things. Yeah, we are not going to miss it, but it's Monday morning. I have to make sure that we are properly shared before we get into all of those information. So let us get that done. We have a lot to talk about. The weekend, to say the very least, was a very eventful weekend, and that kind of ended off all the way into this morning, if I dare say so. But I was in my bed. I don't know about you, but it seems like Onyx was always in about. Onyx probably got in this morning. It seems so. It would appear, based on the statements. Alec, boom, good morning to you. Alec, I hope you're okay too. But guys, let us go into what is happening in the morning papers. We have a lot to discuss and all of that. And I have to let you know that we are dealing with the big issues. The big issues, as you know it, whatever you're thinking right now should be the big issue. I can assure you from our end, that will be the big issue. I see Margaret Nelson saying, Doretta, you have to get into that Zen space. And I'm not sure what's going on there. What's that space? I must be missing something. Sometimes the age is a little off. I'm getting too old for these things. Let me know in the comment section what that space actually means. But the first thing I want to touch on a little bit, I'm seeing in morning paper something I have to say. I have to comment my colleague for, and I see the Region 10 Tourism Committee lobbies go invest for greater investment there in Region number 10. So that's one of the first things I want to touch on a little bit this morning. And I have to say kudos to Devin Sears, their chairman of the Tourism Committee there in Region number 10, MP Devin Sears. He has been doing quite an amazing job at lobbying for support when it comes to tourism there in region number 10, and I have to say that he has been making quite a mark there for that sector at the local level. So kudos to him, and I have to say we hope that you continue to do what you have to do. And guys that's joining us out of region 10, make sure that you do your part, chip in. If you want to help, if there's some idea that you have, make no mistake, you can go forward and pitch it to MP Devin Sears there, because he has been out and about making sure that he lobbied to see that region 10 gets some bit of support when it comes to tourism altogether. So kudos there to Devin Sears, Member of Parliament, my colleague. I am happy to see things moving afoot there with you at the helm of that committee. And on a more sad note, we continue to say that when it comes to the road fatalities and all of that, it's absolutely chaotic here in Guyana. And again, a woman perishes in Lou Creek accident, and her daughter critical. And this is something, when I saw it, it kind of made my skin grow a little bit, because you definitely do not want to have to come and report on these things. But it is what it is. Latoya Narayan, a young woman, lost her life. Very, very sad. And I have to say, we have to be very, very careful when it comes to the use of the roadways. I don't know as the details as emerge, and we're going to bring it to you, but as it is right about now, Natoya Narayan is 35 years old. Lost her life, 35 years old, lost your life at 35. It's crazy. 11-year-old daughter is receiving medical attention. We pray from the FYI team, we pray for her safety, so that she pulls through, to make sure that it's not even more tragic than it already is. So guys, just make sure that you offer a word of prayer in your little circle to make sure that her 11-year-old daughter pulls through as well. Very, very sad bit there, but we have, like I said, we always have to bring the information as it is. But we continue to ask. I continue to plead with you to make sure that you are safe on the roadways. We are never so much in a hurry that we have to speed. Let's not be in such a hurry that we are hurrying to the hospital, that we are hurrying and putting ourselves at risk of being hospitalized, or in worst case, being dead or so forth. And remember that when you are using the roadways, if you are being dangerous and careless, you're not just being dangerous and careless to yourselves, you're also putting other person's life in danger as well. We have to do better. Let us do better when it comes to the use of the roadway. I think Guyana, I think that we have some of the worst road users probably on the planet. It's absolutely crazy, it's crazy. It's crazy. We got to do better. It's a culture. It is a culture here that people just do what the hell they want on the roads. And that's a sad reality. We have to call it what it is. And we have to say, let us put a stop date. You out there, you are the road users, put a stop date. Do better. Do very, very better. It's not okay for persons to be losing their lives. Either if they're speeding, if someone else is speeding, let us all do better to make sure that we survive this period where there's so many things that's taking our lives, so many illnesses and all of those things. COVID's still there. COVID's still about, still taking lives and all of that. We have so many things taking lives, so many persons sick with all sorts of things. Let us not add to that death toll by just being reckless on the roadways. Let us not do that. And guess what, guys? GWI. I was on Facebook yesterday morning. I got on a little late, and I saw that in Georgetown. I'm just so happy I'm not in Georgetown too, but I saw in Georgetown that there were water woes yesterday. One of the comments that had me cracking up was someone online that actually said, it's so delightful to see GPL and GWI working together in harmony to make sure that we are hot and can cool down with water at the same time. So GWI is out and about right about now, issuing their apologies for the disruption in water in central Georgetown there yesterday, and I hope that whatever issue that they were dealing with is properly rectified, to say the least, because it's not okay to just have an entire thousands of people without water, without the ability to take a bath. My gosh, when GPL is giving you blackout and there's the only thing you got to cool down is the water. So, guys, as we continue, a bit of a mixture of the news this morning. The news as it's coming in. I have to just say it. But Venezuelan woman shot after altercation there just over the weekend, and I see. And as I open up my notes, I have to say that I'm seeing several different sets of reporting when it comes to this particular matter. But again, I have to say that we have to be very careful with let me just put it over. The administration needs to be very specific with the intervention that they're making right about now in the hinterland, because when it comes to security in the hinterland, it is very chaotic. That's as plain and blunt as it is. Anyone that's joining us from the hinterland know how things operate there. To a large extent, it's like cowboy land. Persons just do whatever, use of force, persons walk around with weapons and so forth. It's not okay. And we have to make sure that persons are protected. So the administration has absolutely a whole ton of work to do in order to protect people there. But it says here in the report that police in Region 8 are on the hunt for a man who was involved in the shooting on Friday afternoon, which led to the death of a Venezuelan woman and left another person injured. They said the dead woman has been identified as 28-year-old Rosemary Torres, who's also called Mary, and she's from Venezuela. So the injured woman has been identified as Peruzo. And so, guys, it says Torres was shot while in hiding from her friend's boyfriend, who opened fire on them after he was confronted for his disorderly behavior earlier in the night. And based on some other reports that I'm seeing out there in the media, it says that she was trying to intervene on her friend's behalf, and this is the second situation I think that we reported just a few months ago. A young man lost his life because him and his wife, they were actually trying to stop a man from attacking his girlfriend. And because of that, the guy came and threw gasoline on him and light them a fire. And he lost, I think it was him. One of them lost their lives. I don't want to be giving wrong information this morning. But again, this situation says that as we see the beautiful sunrise this morning, I see the beautiful sunrise this morning. I have to say, as you look at it, just remember, guys, we have to do much better when it comes to protecting our women.
Good morning, folks. Good morning.
You hear that voice? Yeah. You hear that voice?
A little hoarse after a very hectic weekend, but
Sherry was shouting. Sherry was shouting during the weekend.
I had a fantastic time. Certainly disrupting the flow of things. Fantastic time in Burbage, New Amsterdam in particular, Angois Avenue, and an area called Pepper
what?
Pepper Street. Yeah, it's real pepper there, boy.
Well, strange enough, I know someone there in Burbage that we call Pepper. So now we question whether or not Pepper is from Pepper Street.
Yeah. It was real pepper over the weekend. Folks, I'm happy to be here. Delighted to be with you. Delighted to be with Rita as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more delighted to be with you.
I impose myself. Don't worry.
Morning, folks. Morning. Happy to be here. To be here. Good to see you, folks.
We're just talking about the shooting death of the Venezuelan woman there in Region 8. It's crazy.
So I heard. Last in this discuss. Go ahead.
Yes.
I can
and as we wrap up on the morning papers this morning, we have to say that we join in issuing our condolences on the passing of Bibi Shadi.
Yeah.
Quite a mountain of a politician in her own right. She's been, she literally worked in the arena to the very last.
Yeah, wow. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to today doing what you love doing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. And thoughts and prayers with our family and all our colleagues. Thoughts and prayers with our
Robin the Rice and Mrs. Sheridan just wake up.
I had a good day yesterday. We had some meetings in Berbice,
Mhm.
and I did a lot of
But I
talking.
wanted to come to that, and I
I did a
see
lot of
Camille
talking.
is there, and
Yeah,
I was actually coming because I had like actually had someone that was going up yesterday, so I
yeah,
was going to go with them.
yeah.
But then when there was all the report about the traffic, they're like
Mhm.
they're not going to go
Yeah,
there
yeah,
anymore. So that's another story.
yeah. I had some good. We had two good meetings yesterday, and the folks came out in
Mm,
Angois Avenue, and also in Pepper Street in New Amsterdam, and we're gonna be touching base with some other places. So coming close to you, folks, coming very close. Hope when you hear about those meetings, you guys come out and you support them as much as you can.
yeah, guys, let
Do
us know if
that.
you're hearing us well there this morning. I'm seeing a Yaba said I'm not hearing. I don't know if it is if it's her internet, but let's just tell me at your end if you're hearing us clearly.
Yeah,
I
and
see
make sure.
Sandra Brotherson is saying that you had duck curry to eat.
Yeah, no,
No duck curry.
I was too busy, too busy to say. Doc Corey, you need to take your time.
Hmm.
Definitely need to take your time. But
Yes,
let's
yes,
look at it in the
yes.
morning papers because
Well, that's a morning paper for
yeah,
me this morning because I just want us to go straight into what is brewing.
and we got quite a couple of things we want to bring to your attention this morning, folks. Quite a couple of things. Starting internationally, and this is quite sad because it was in Egypt over the weekend. 41 people lost their lives in a church fire, and another 45, I think, were injured. And it was an electrical fire. And quite incidentally, when it started, it blocked the
Mm,
exit to this church in Egypt. 41 dead, the majority of which they're telling us are children,
yeah.
and that's really, really sad. 41 dead period is sad, and then lots of them were children, makes it even more sad. And we want to say our thoughts and prayers to our Egyptian brothers and sisters. There can be an easy time at all. Can be an easy time. Well, folks are
Mm-mm-mm.
telling us you're hearing us loud and clear, which has to be Ayabo's issue.
Yes. Yeah, go
So
check it on your
fix
end.
fix your old phone, Ayabo. Thoughts and prayers to all the folks who have lost family members in this tragic fire there in
Mm.
Egypt. Thoughts and prayers, and yeah, yeah,
But there's so
yeah,
many cases that comes out
yeah.
there from those area. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. And while we're watching that,
Hmm.
on the international scene too, Kenya, we told you guys last week, had an impending election. That election has happened, and the opposition looks as though they're going to take the seat of government. It seems as though we're having quite a run of opposition parties taking the seat of government. We had that in St. Kitts and
Hmm.
Nevis. We have that now in Kenya. And one other place we were tracking over the last week, we saw the opposition assume government as well.
My goodness.
That sounds good to us. Ayab was telling us that she's fixed that problem. Good. We're
Good.
happy.
I didn't say that whole phone, yeah, but
one
that was Sharon.
one person went in a room and they said, "Oh, this place dusty, man." Somebody said, "You got to take off your glass and clean it." Sometimes you see problem. It's not nobody else. You got to take off your glass and clean. So we're happy that Ayabo rectified her listening mechanism.
Her listening device. Yes.
We're happy
Whatever
with that.
that is.
Yeah. So they're telling us that based on the polling they're seeing currently there in Kenya,
Mhm.
the opposition is out front, and it's quite interesting because apparently the current president, Mr. Kenyatta, he and his party members
Mhm.
are falling out, so he ended up endorsing the opposition. It's quite interesting. Yep.
We different.
Uhuru Kenyatta is the outgoing president, and it seems as though the opposition is going to take it. But that's good old politics for you. There are no permanent enemies, there are no permanent friends.
But in all fairness, oppositions will become government. The only time a government remains as government forever is if it's a dictatorship.
Yeah,
In every democracy, the opposition
at some point. At some point.
exactly
And it's a
steps
regular
into
feature.
government.
It's a regular feature. It's only some folks think you got to come in here and sit down, all the time,
No,
for 30, 40
people
years.
gotta understand. The
Right?
only time it doesn't happen is if you're operating
Yeah.
in a dictatorship.
Yeah. I see Rhonda Lynn, and I'm happy Rhonda has reminded me. Rhonda has a fantastic concert coming up at her church. Rhonda, tell us where the church is, and I really want to invite as many of you who can go to support Rhonda is doing. She said she got quite a few
Ron is
surprises.
singing.
And
I'm going if Ron is
if I
singing.
know Rhonda got a lot of surprises. So she has a fantastic concert coming up. I think it's for a fantastic concert. And as many of you guys who can support, y'all know Rhonda how she story go. I want to go and see some of that myself. Rhonda Lane, and we can give you some more details on that, where it's being held and cost for ticket and that kind of stuff. I know it's in Denham Cell. That much I know.
Okay.
But we're gonna support Rhonda. And that's some of what's happening, as we come closer in the region. Trinidad, my lord, the crime in Trinidad,
We spoke about this like
the crime in
we
Trinidad.
started speaking about this recently.
And Candace, Matthew, and Isola, and all the other folks, Rhonda, Sandra Brotherson, here are two instances, separate instances, where people were killed by people pretending to be law enforcement officers, fake law enforcement officers.
Damn.
In the first case, there were a group of friends who were hanging out, and policemen came up who they thought were policemen, ordered them to lie on the ground and produce their ID cards. And this gentleman here, Jamal Waldron, when he produced his identification card, they shot him several times and fled the scene. Yep.
They were just conforming that was him.
Correct. Thoughts and prayers with Jamal's family. This other one is even more terrible. Some people got a conscience. This other one with that involved Carlin Suknaran is even more terrible. Again, fake law enforcement officers. So Carlos and his girlfriend were having sex in their house when they heard somebody pulling the window in the room that they were in, and when the girlfriend was very startled, and she looked and she saw there was men dressed in black, police uniform and so on, and they asked him if he was Carl or something, shot him right there and then and fled the scene. They didn't even come in the house, shot him from outside. Right? Him and his girlfriend, having a nice time, and
Wow. What a
the
way.
crime in Trinidad, and folks, if we do not arrest certain situations we're seeing here, we ain't going too far, It's right on this road we're coming. Right? Fake policemen, full SWAT team closing out there.
But they were how
Well, according to
I was just going to ask a difficult question, Let me just ask anyway. How did they know that they were fake?
You gotta know.
Let me just ask a difficult question.
I figured the police, law enforcement, the real law enforcement, would have to be distancing themselves from that. And Rhonda is telling us this is Denham Cell Community Center. Denham Cell Community Center. This is where the concert is happening. The ticket is $500 at 3 o'clock, and you'd have to tell us the time to, Rhonda. Help us there. If it's $500, 3 o'clock, Denham Cell Community Center.
Date? Yeah, what date?
Let us know that. It's 3 o'clock, the date, sorry, that's what I say.
Yes.
3 o'clock, $500, Denham Cell Community Center. And those of you who are close by, please.
Support.
Right? Marley is asking when. Ron is going to tell us when.
Yes.
Ron is going to tell us when as well. So, Judy, go right ahead. Sorry. Let me do it for my end. So
I already asked my difficult question.
Yeah. So that's what we're covering in the region. The spate of violence, not only in Trinidad, but lots of other places too. Jamaica has a lot of horrific killings of that nature, and we're right behind. Right? Might not be as prevalent, but we are right behind there. And as we come closer to home, folks, I heard Onyx asking you some stuff later on. Well, folks, we had this race over the weekend.
Jumbo jet,
thoroughbred race over the weekend. It is throwing down all the little food we got here. All the little food. Yeah, so we had this race over the weekend, folks. And kudos to the organizers. I think they've had a little hiatus due to COVID and all that. Kudos to the organizers. They want to take nothing away from them, and I don't blame them at all for some of the other stuff which has transpired coming out of this horse race. And they had I don't want to say a cultural event, but they had a concert afterwards. They brought in Skilly Bang, right?
I'm too old for these things. I don't know.
For this stuff.
I'm too old for this. I'm sorry.
And while the event of itself was good, the traffic mess that ensued was something else. So maybe this is where This is where we start.
Yeah.
So the event of itself, no trouble with that at all, at all, at all.
Well, I'm all like I particularly, I was there I think twice. Twice I was there because persons I think Moses Nagamusi was the one. He loved these events. So I was there with him, when he was prime minister, and it was great. The horse racing, it was absolutely great, to see how energized persons are and actually enjoy the festivities there.
Just 1 second. I just want to ask Rhonda. Rhonda, share all the information in one post, and we'll see if we can pin it
Yes.
there. Share out the time, the place, and all that. Share it in one post, Rhonda. Thanks very much. Go ahead, Rita.
Yeah, so I was just saying that the horse racing itself, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. But it just goes to show how there's a lot more that needs to be
Yeah.
put into actually having these events pull off
Yeah.
in a very hassle-free way. to say the
Hassle-free
least.
environment, because
Yeah.
again, this thing could not have taken authorities by surprise at all.
No.
And then you had the experience with Skeng,
Mhm.
Skilly Bang, Skeng. It seems to be reigning supreme. Assured, not Trace problems. Skilly Bang, Skeng, and now Skilly Bang was this weekend here with the horse racing. It was a 2-for-1 package, and in the planning.
Mhm.
You must have known, and this is not, there's always traffic issues there at that horse racing. I was caught up in it, but it was never this bad.
Yeah.
And people are just
Because I
happy.
never had
People just
Skilly Bang
want,
before.
I don't think it's that. I think people just want
You
to be
sure?
outside. People just want to be outside.
I don't know.
People just want to be outside. And more could have been done. Maybe it's Skilly Bang. I don't know.
I believe that.
More could have been done. As a matter of fact, I think it was another complete failure of the Ghana police force. So there was that, the horse racing. They had to do what they had to do, but law enforcement has to do what it has to do. Traffic was backed up for hours.
Wow, look at that.
Yesterday, traffic was backed up for more than 7 hours. People just sitting in traffic. And this is not traffic that is flowing slowly. No, it's traffic not flowing at all. At one point, you had 4 lanes of traffic on a 2-lane highway going in one direction.
Wow.
So people driving all on the parapet, going in one direction. It was total chaos and confusion. And I put the blame and the responsibility for that at Robeson's men's feet and also at the feet of the Commissioner of
But
Police.
Robeson said he was not going to be signing off on any artists like
Robeson is a liar. The people is a liar. Are liars as well.
So Robeson probably didn't sign off on this,
He
Sharon.
didn't sign up.
So,
The whole police force went to sleep yesterday.
did they go to sleep?
They went to sleep.
Because I saw so many persons saying that why are all these roadblocks here? Why just hampering traffic even more with the roadblocks and so
Yeah.
forth that they had. But it was crazy because, like I was saying, I know folks wanted to go up. I was planning to go up, not for no Skelly Bang, but for the meetings that we were having. And those persons canceled going after they saw all the reports coming on
That
social media
thing
about the
could have
traffic.
been handled far better with good traffic management.
Yeah.
And it is the responsibility of the Ghana police force to ensure that happens.
It is.
Right? The people who hold big events, they ain't got time with managing traffic. And this is where
That's
the
not their
policemen,
responsibility.
the Ghana police force has to come in. Look some of what happened there also with that traffic yesterday. Terrible.
You might as well run back.
Yeah. It might have started a little late. I'm going to run it back for you guys. But that is just part of it, That is just part, whole day.
Yeah.
You have people who left town around 9 yesterday morning, who got to where they were going in Berbice after 6 yesterday afternoon.
Wow.
Right? And the thing I said on social media last evening, that If you have a little protest and you block that road, it's the police, it's the army, and the dung stocks and everybody else coming to clear you out of the way, right? But for miles, you couldn't see one policeman. You know, on an ordinary day, every corner they're stopping you. And I ain't telling you what they're stopping you for, because you know, right? 3, 4, 5 roadblocks down the road, and a day in which they needed, everybody got missing. I don't know if it's the Bascom issue got everybody quiet and off the road, the policemen, or what. But it was absolute chaos. And whose fault is that? Who going home today? Who going to be demoted from the Ghana police force today? You know, what shake-up going to happen in the traffic department today based on that? If we're a country moving forward.
But this, you know, the whole reason, I want people, we could start from that position. The whole reason that these things have to be signed off by the police is because the police need to say, yes, we have the capacity to be out there to regulate. That's the only way it's signed. That's why it have to go there in the first place.
Correct.
You know, that's why they have to. These event holders, they can't just go out and keep an event. They go through the channels. They got a signature saying that yes, we have the capacity to regulate. And you guys go ahead. And when all of that was done, the promoters they're doing their thing. And there's absolutely no effort being put in place to make sure that the police do what they said they have the capacity to do by putting their signature on there.
And I really want to thank the people who took the time to do the footage of that. I think it's Stephen's Legacy is the page we're picking this up. Stephen Legacy is the page we're picking this up from, folks. Take another look at it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And every time we can say never again, because after, and I can see Chronicle, you know, traffic mayhem aside, you know, the horse racing was a success.
Was a good
traffic
show.
mayhem aside. You know, I have nothing with the promoters of that event. And those things have to happen in a society. You know, you have to have entertainment and all of that. But you got to marry it with good traffic management, good law enforcement. That's why the police force and Robeson Ben, you know, Robeson Ben is such a failure. Such a failure. Such a failure. I know what was the hard part as you know, Robeson Ben. It seemed miraculously, right? When the government officials were going and coming from the horse racing, the traffic police could have come and just part the traffic. Quick.
It was possible.
It was possible. With law enforcement intervention.
Wow.
Right? With law enforcement intervention, that traffic that stood still for 5 hours, nothing moving, could suddenly part like the Red Sea. Because the big boys who said they care about the people of this country, they're coming through. And when they pass, the people with the sick children, the autistic people, the people who
burying the dead,
the people who burying the dead, the people who got flights to catch and so on, everything at a standstill. It's a country we running it.
Yeah.
It's a country we really running. Well, look, them boys coming through, you know. Clear the way, the bamboo say. Who get licked down? I don't. And once the police pass with that,
back
to chaos and confusion. Back to chaos and confusion. Once the police pass with government officials in the big vehicles with a nice AC and so on, back to chaos and confusion. Okay, this is how long we can tolerate that? How long?
I see Shanet Mohan is in the traffic end at number 40 village.
which is very a long distance,
Wow.
right? Which is a long distance, you know. And as I heard those sirens, I heard there's a minister's son in Burbies. He got little car. He got sirens
Oh, I'm seeing.
and lights flashing and so on.
He's the one now. What's his portfolio?
Nothing. That's the portfolio. Nothing. And he got sirens and flashing lights on the little vehicle moving about Burbies. We were in a country, you know. I don't know why they're fooling themselves.
The thing is, let me just say, I was going to put it on a different way. I think they are going to make people stop acknowledging and respecting those sirens. When everybody just putting on a siren.
You know,
apparently,
these people...
You're buying a light from the Chinese, and you're just mounting it, bicycle lights and all sorts of lights.
Flashing.
You know,
Was it flashing?
Was it flashing?
Yes.
And you put it up, and suddenly you have the right of way.
Yeah.
You know, right of passage with some bicycle light on.
This regime wants to be
on.
acknowledged as a legitimate government, but they're doing nothing. Nothing functions here as it should. Nothing at all. So you could imagine, even if you didn't want to go to, like us, we had other business in Burbies. People could be going to spend a quiet day, going home from church and all of that. And then you caught up in this stuff. You know? We must be vexed just the same way as though it was a protest happening and the streets were blocked.
But that's the thing. Where are all those persons, those voices that
absent? They're asleep at the wheels. They're asleep at the wheels of this country. And so that was the kind of chaos and confusion we saw at that end. You know, as Robin says, this is the PPPC hooligans coming through, and they say they care. You could have left people in that kind of mess, and you go home and you sleep comfortable as a minister. Right? You could go through in 15 seconds, and people that are 15 hours waiting. It's madness. It's absolute madness in this country. No decent country operates like that. Warren forgets. I'm so freaking angry. But I will resist the temptation of saying anything now. Right? When them boys come through, the traffic could park because they send the outriders down the line, cussing out people. Get the hell off the road. Because them boys coming through.
All of those things. That's where they go come.
You know what I find strange? When a building is on fire, all them meet just to watch. They can't hold a bucket, you know, to throw. They're just watching.
They point
and yesterday, all them should have down there directing traffic.
Because they point to, you know, they watch and point.
Yes.
Like when they see the reporters and so they would point.
Yes. So you got the image. They're so concerned. But yesterday, all of them should be out there directing traffic. But where were they? No. Driving through in a nice big vehicle, gas guzzlers. Right? And they're going through with the policemen and so on. And then when the sea of vehicles parted and closed back, it was chaos again. Where's the man who say he want to be police commissioner? You know, he just get the job. Every place he there. Every headline is he. We can do and we can do and we can do. And something as simple as this. You got one thing to do. One thing. You know, people must watch us and laugh. You know, I wonder what foreigners caught up in that image of this country in the world stage. Foreigners caught up in that mess, go back and tell the family in the States. You got some, you know, Americans. I don't have a Guyanese American, Americans, or whoever else, like wherever they come from. You want to bring people for tourism here, and you can't even directly traffic? Who would want to go back there? Right? I saw it coming from far. Because I was caught in it the last time they had the races there.
Warren is saying, my daughter and team was stuck there, never made their event, spending 10 hours on the road.
Wow. And these are foreigners. These are foreigners. You bring people to where you're living and say, I can't go to my country. We heard it was, I don't know if it's the same bus, but they said they had a bus with children on a tour or something like that.
Children. They never made it to their event.
You know, people going to, getting married and all of that. And you hold a little protest, quick. High mark, this, the riot gear, all kinds of stuff. And again, no problem with the event. We got to hold those events and we have to have the capacity to host big events. Right? But by the same token, good traffic management, good policing, safety and all that goes with it. And it's absolute foolishness. I want to know who can be demoted. Eh? Where heads go roll because of what transpired out there yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Or it's just it's business as usual and we gone on. No, it can't be like that.
Persons miss their flights, and those things are actually
It can't be like that.
in the print.
You know, do we see Irfan Ali come out today in his head and say take responsibility for that and fire Clifton Hickens and fire whoever else is the people in the region down there? Huh? You can imagine somebody's there planning, you know what, next time we're gonna knock every place, every business at that place. We gonna knock. That's law enforcement can't come through. You can imagine somebody house burning down there. If somebody's store getting robbed there. Jesus, man. We're getting better. 50 odd years of independence, and we still backward and brutish with a lot of stupid people leading us.
Warren said, I literally cried for horrific experience.
What happened yesterday out there is because you have stupid people with power. Because people would sit down and plan this contingency, that contingency for traffic, that contingency for security, that contingency. I saw a car crash on the bridge. I was in Berbice. I went up Saturday night. I came back this morning early. I planned it so to avoid all of that. There was a car crash on the bridge. Somebody on the Berbice bridge. The whole back axle came off. Somebody smashed into the vehicle. Mad, and it is understood. Every Barbician know when they got horse racing, there's got plenty of accident. The traffic has been backed up, and there's no planning and no contingency for it.
And then to add to that, you bring in an RC, and there's
you heard people saying some things are simple. In some of the back streets, the connecting bridges are footbridges. They could be expanded in not all the streets, in 2 or 3, to take the traffic off the main road and bypass the horse racing. I mean, to God.
For persons who are not going there.
To God. What are we doing with this country, man? What are we doing? Right? I want to see what Irfan going to do. That's what I want to see. What Irfan going to do. But they feel it, you know, those who flying by in the big vehicle, it was just another day. But see all the people going to the concert? Who feels it knows. Who feels it knows. Right? And then we got the other issue to deal with. The big issue, folks. The big issue we got to deal with. The elephant in the room, my Lord. Last week was such a week. You know? Last week was such a week. The Dion Bascom allegations. You had the first Facebook Live that he did, I think it was last week, Thursday. Then there was one on Saturday too.
Yeah, I think the first one was deleted. And then so there's snippets of it that was persons to come.
Yeah.
Those were circulated.
Yeah, the Dion Bascom allegations. You know?
There was one done on Saturday.
Yeah.
I think the one done on Saturday showed a much more calmer person.
You think you're in trouble in this country, and then you hear the Dion Bascom story. And you know, we're definitely in trouble. We definitely. Them boys distracted. That's why you got the confusion out there. Distracted by all manner of things that ain't pertaining to good policing. And that is why you got a transportation situation out there. You know? And for those of you who are now picking up on the Dion Bascom story, let's walk you guys through it very, 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 very briefly. You know, and we said to you that last week, on the 8th, Dion Bascom, along with some other folks, were arrested at a house in Norton Street. Because this is one of the things he spoke about. The way he was treated as a police officer in the course of this arrest. Narcotics were found at this house. And in something very miraculous almost. Do you know the men who were found with the cocaine are already sentenced and so on? Spending 4 years?
Wow.
And some people still on remand in this country. But the men who were arrested last week
some people remand over 4 years.
Yeah.
On remand for
already sentenced. That's a major feat in itself. Bascom wasn't charged, but he was detained, and he said that he had his photo ID released to the public, like if he's a common criminal. I don't know why he wasn't charged, because he was found in the house where the cocaine was and all of that. But that's another story by itself. That was August 8th. By August 11th, we saw the Facebook Live, the tirade and all of the allegations that were made that several members of the police force, including businessman Ashuddin Mohammed, is publicly known now, and the several high-ranking members of the police force, including Mitchell Caesar, and an agent of the Mohammeds, what's the fellow's name? We'll get to that in a second. But all of that came out in this August 8th live video that Mr. Bascom put out there. And by the 12th of August, we saw the law firm Punai and Punai, incidentally representing all three men, the person being investigated, the investigator, and also the agent of, it's a whole cook-up show in this country. Well, all of them being represented by Punai and Punai, of course, protesting their innocence and so forth. Then by August 13th, the Mohammeds Enterprise themselves came out with a statement distancing their organization from the allegations. And then we saw the second Facebook Live video with Mr. Bascom, and that's on Saturday. Folks, that's just 1 week, What will this week hold for us? What will this week hold? So that's a brief timeline to bring you guys up to speed on where we are with that. And as we said, two of the major allegations that were made concerned Mitchell Caesar and Ashuddin Mohammed. Mark Richmond is one of the persons at the center of the investigation. He's said to be an agent of Mohammed's enterprise and who is alleged to have been part of the killing of Ricardo Fagundes, which happened on Main Street last year, March of last year. And this is the whole cook-up show that's happening right now and all of the allegations that are being made. Of course, I said to you that Punai and Punai, representing Mitchell Caesar, Ashuddin Mohammed, and Mark Richmond, they have said that these allegations are libelous, these allegations are slanderous, and if Mr. Bascom does not retract and offer an apology, they are going to sue him, and these figures run into the hundreds of millions of dollars. They're threatening to sue Mr. Bascom. But of course, we said he had another Facebook Live on Saturday, of which he said, I stand by every word I have said. Yep. And that's where we are. That brings us to this morning.
Yeah. That I think that may very well be the biggest issue that we have been since the Sugate issue. This is the second biggest, but the Sugate issue, it was just like and I said it here. When you hear everything that is coming out with that particular bit that came out with Sugate, you said, oh well, these are things just being confirming our suspicions, all of that. The allegations being made here in this matter is just the web that it has created. It's like you literally can get a whiteboard and start drawing lines of who's
things bad, but you know it's bad.
To who or not. It's crazy allegations.
One big
and I have to say, I know the Alliance to Change made a statement calling for a thorough investigation into this matter, and I stand by that. By that also, I stand by that statement, and particularly saying that when it comes to the investigation, people implicated can't be invested having any part of the investigation. It can't come under their command. No aspect of the investigation can fall under their command. And so the investigation needs to be done because Guyanese should demand because they deserve to know the truth about this entire matter. It's crazy allegations. Allegations of this nature cannot be just made public and everyone just allow it to die out, because that's what happens with so many of these things. It's just die out as the time go by, something come up, overrides that, and you forget about it. These allegations are serious allegations because it's implicating persons, law enforcement officials, people that are supposed to be upholding the law. So those things absolutely have to be made clear. The truth has to come out because people need to have the confidence that they're living in a country in which the law is there and the law is the person's law enforcement officer are actually carrying themselves about in that manner. And if these allegations happen to be true, then there's a whole lot more that needs to be done when it comes to unearthing more. I think that
so much more.
For me,
much more needs to be done.
For me, it's the more you're hearing if I dare say that, the more you hear and the more you wonder how much more is not being said.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, how
Because
much more is not being said.
interestingly, Bascom did say, he say, you know, the things I've seen, the
Yeah.
things I did for y'all, and this is how y'all treat me, referring to how he was arrested and his detainment and all of that. You know, so I wanted the rest.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted the rest. But as you were on the investigation, Paul Slow, a former assistant superintendent of police, said yesterday, he said that he has no confidence that the Office of Professional Responsibility can do this. Even the police complain because of the very issues you have said.
Yeah.
Some of the very people implicated is who people the
They
investigation got to
preside
go through.
over some aspect
Right?
of
And he
those,
said
yeah.
that they do not have the capacity, they do not have the credibility nor the integrity as a police force to investigate this.
Yeah.
And I support him on that. You have to get international help on this. But you folks, you know how many international investigations pending? You got Sugate pending. Then these international investigators. You got this. You got so many other things. So many other things. You would run out of oil money just paying international investigators. Because that's them boys come back. We ain't like it at all, you know. We ain't like it. This is Starbuck News this morning, folks.
No.
Starbuck News editorial. John Bascom allegations. From day one, Starbuck News editorial says it's required reading to all of you who are following these events. Starbuck News editorial. Today, from day one, the characteristics of the killing of Mr. Fagundes put it in the genre of those that the police force could not solve because it had been compromised, had been instructed not to proceed, or just was not up to the task. You're going to read nothing else. From day one, Starbuck News says, the characteristics of Mr. Fagundes, the killing of Mr. Fagundes, this is the man who was gunned down, Ricardo Fagundes, on Main Street, which all of these allegations now from Bascom related to it's the covering up of aspects of the investigation. The killing of Mr. Fagundes put it in the genre of those that the police force could not solve because it had been compromised, had been instructed not to proceed, or just was not up to the task. That's part of the editorial. You're going to read the rest for yourself. Right? It goes on to say, you know what is even more befuddling about this? Right? That killing happened a stone throw. You could that state house, you could hear the guns firing. Right? Which is a disrespect and would mean that law enforcement should go after that with even more alacrity.
Yeah.
Year plus on, no more leads and everything dry up. And now here comes Mr. Bascom saying who won't take 30 million, alleging who won't take 30 million to cover down this, that.
Yeah. No, there's a lot said. You know, one of the things that he said that everybody should be very pay keen attention to when he said, you know, mind what you to do with your phones, you know, what you say on your phones and so forth. I think he actually wrote that when he put out that statement. That's why he had deleted the first video. But he was basically saying, you know, they're watching your phones, they're watching your calls, your messages, and those things. So you have to be very careful with what, because when guys, you know, a lot of times we deal with international issues and so forth here. And you would know when it comes to privacy, especially when it comes to data privacy and so forth. Those are big issues. The US, there are several different amendments when it comes to your right to privacy and all of things, people not accessing your information and all of that. Our country don't have anything that protects us. We don't have anything protecting us from persons literally invading.
Yeah, you got operators though to listen to you.
You have to.
That's where you got. This is a country in the fast. These people who had spy laptop and triangulation devices and all kinds of stuff. You remember that?
Yeah. Well, it seems like it's still being used.
Still being used. Same people.
If the allegations are true, you know, it seems
same
like
people.
It seems like those things are still very much so being used. You know, technology is the use of technology. It's phenomenal. The boundaries have not.
Yeah, it's only for Starbuck News. I believe they are masculine. That's the only thing they're right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And while you say it's crazy, you know, the Ricardo Fagundes gunning down has not happened in isolation. You know, here was Ricardo Fagundes, an associate of Roger Khan, who have been convicted of narco trafficking, was imprisoned for the U.S. State prison system for quite a little while. He's back here now. He's associate of his. They were out that night when I think the report said, and all this is public information, he received a phone call and went outside, something to do with his car, and he was gunned down. Right? Now, Mr. Bascom has alleged in what he's put out there that they have pinpointed the person who was there on the scene and who he is related to based on his phone movement, the calls he made before the incident and after the incident.
Yeah.
Those are the allegations that are out there.
It's damning allegations.
Right? But as I said, that has not happened in isolation, because it seems as though we're going back pre-2015. You always had a gunning down, a murder, a robbery, a kidnapping. Looks like we're heading back there because, since August 2nd, 2020, there have been a spate of these kinds of gunning downs, and if you don't piece it together, you don't see the pattern. August 4th, 2020, Rondell Haynes was gunned down in Durban Street. October 17, 2020, Sion London was gunned down in Seafields of Fire. December 8, 2020, Peter Gonzalez gunned down in Garnet Street. March 2021, this is Fagundes, lost his life outside Palm Court in Main Street, also known as Paper Shorts. April 2021, Odingo Anthony Haywood was gunned down in Charlestown. May 2021, Ronald Omar Smith was gunned down in Camp Street between Church and Commonwealth Street. You see that? This should have been in 2022. July 7th, no, the year is wrong, but 2021, July, Delron McKenzie, gunned down in Linden. He had left to go up. Somebody invited him up to collect something, gunned down in Linden. Delron McKenzie. Also, July 2021, Delvin McLennan, gunned down on the Essequibo coast. August 2nd, 2021, 1 year after, Jaleel Liao, gunned down in Beefields of Fire. August 10th, I don't know if you remember this one. There are two businessmen sitting in a vehicle on Regent Street. Two businessmen sitting in a SUV on Regent Street. Somebody just came up on the one side, and Euclid De Silva was gunned down August 10th. September 2021, right? Defense Force Corporal Daniel Fraser and Shanika Ford were gunned down into fire. Right? That's where we are, folks. The new wild, wild west. In every instance, you hear, we will leave no stone unturned, but the Henry boys still rolling in the grave on the one. We will leave no stone unturned. Well, folks, the fellow from Essequibo, what's his name? He must be rolling in his grave on that one. And this is just people who are gunned down. We haven't moved in the case of Orin Boston from Essequibo, the people who died under mysterious circumstances at the hands of law enforcement. They got different categories. These people who are just gunned down. This is where we are. And this is the last 2 years.
Or in Boston, they're from region number.
Yes. Yeah. Or in Boston, That's where we are, sadly. That is where we are.
Yeah, we started off at, we started off this morning and we mentioned what's going on in Trinidad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can just imagine a morning show in Trinidad speaking about what's going on in Ghana.
Yeah. If you can solve the traffic problem, you can solve these crimes. You can solve intricate, nuanced issues like that. You can solve that. If it's little traffic you can manage as a police force, we can never know who killed we know who killed him, but the reasons why. What happened to the investigation? The one gang court,
Hmm.
right? Who killed the Henry boys? Talking to the one of the mothers of the I think it was Joel, was it Isaac? One of the mothers of the boys. She said to me there was a third boy with them that day,
Hmm.
who seemed to have vanished. They said he was taken to Suriname or someplace or up some creek for many months and then brought back. We never heard about him. Who
I
left with
never
them
heard
that
of
morning? I was just a surprise.
This is the first I'm hearing
That's
about
the
that.
forgotten boy
This is the first I'm hearing about that.
who came with them and left with them that fateful morning. They were going to pick coconuts.
Mm.
That's another story by itself. Folks, that's where we are this morning. This is the country we have. Some of us, we try to make a way forward. We want to sit down and we want to, we cannot do it alone, even as APNU AFC. We got to sit down together. We got to think how we can move this country forward, but we got to do it with people who are right thinking.
Yeah.
Not people involved in this kind of nastiness and foolishness. Right? That's how we can move this country forward. This is the country we have currently. In 2 short years, every day almost is a scandal that needs international assistance for us to get through. Every day almost. Right? I wonder what Freddie write about this morning.
Probably the AFC or something.
You need dog, they're walking outside. Just don't pass them columns, Right? You never see Michael Young writing about the spate of crime and Fagundes and so on. Them things don't go on NCN and DPI and so on. No. It's like alternate universes we occupy. You think they're talking about the traffic chaos yesterday? Alternate universe. They ain't talking about Warren Figueroa plighting the children who went for hours, foreigners and people getting married, everything delayed because of incompetence. The top leadership of the police was, no. You won't see that. It's an alternate universe. You turn them on now. You think it's a different country we're living in. Last night? What happened last night? Morning after? You mean it's the pill? It's not the events that took place last night. That's the country we have. Twitter. Over to you.
It's I can hear the frustration in Cher's voice this morning with this. We have to say when at the FYI, we bring the information as it is out there at the public, and whatever is out there in the public, that's the information we gather, all the bits and pieces, and we present it to you. And we have to say that allegations that are being made, it's not okay for us to live in a country where allegations are just made and it's just left like that. I know there's a lot in circulation right now when it comes to libelous suits and so forth being put against Boston. And for me, all of those things, the course of justice must see its way. It must not be just left and just be done away with. Things must go before the court, and that needs to be played out.
I heard you say that during the course of the program, while they had the total chaos and confusion on the roads in Region 5 yesterday. You had blackout, you had water shortages, but definitely you got sugar shortage and everything else we gotta deal with as a country. We had all those things on we shoulder to fetch yesterday and still fetching this morning. And them guys want to say, oh, we going nice, man. Everything good. Big development, massive development.
And people can't bid.
Right? You can't bid.
But that's what
when you're hot, you can't turn on your fun.
That's what's on
if you want to drive down the countryside, you can't even pass. Right? But massive development. Right? And you open a road that then you get to the end, you can't go no further because the whole thing black, muddy, this, that. You name it. We're supposed to be getting better as a country. That is the tragedy of Guyana. And we ain't talking about inflation, cost of living, all the other stuff. We're not getting better
from 2020 to now.
You're supposed to be getting better. We ain't getting better for the money. Where's value for money spent? All the money you're spending on the Guyana police force, to this, to that, for body cam, for do what? For people sit down in traffic for 7 hours? And when you really need them boys, they're not there? When you don't need them is when they're stopping you every 2 seconds. License registration, looking for something wrong with your car, for say, oh, where you passing? Something foolishness like that.
And that's why you got the Ryan Crawford episode, if you forgot. For those of you who know.
Folks, y'all have a good day, man. Have a good day.
Guys, I'm gonna be closing the program off right now before Sherrod loses his composure and say things
Yeah.
that he should not be saying this morning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am glad that you have joined us this morning, and do what you have to share the stream. You know what is going on. It's absolutely necessary
Yeah.
that the information is shared.
It is the 15th of the month, guys.
Yes.
We're running up to month 10. You know, we got our obligations to meet. You know, we want to produce a show that's different from the stuff you see. You know, you ain't get information you get here any other place. It takes us time and effort to curate the information, to go and to sift through everything, that to find who has gone down where and when and the circumstance, and to piece that together to see who were killed under suspicious circumstances. We do a lot of research here to get it right, to prevent what Ruth is saying. You know, the slander, the libel, and so on. Because a defense I learned in law, the slander and libel is the truth.
Yeah.
Is the truth.
That's why.
That's what we're pursuing.
Well,
here.
that's why I'm saying that things need to pan out in court, in the
Yeah.
court of law, because
Yeah.
I know everyone will be glued to their televisions to
Yeah.
see how those testimonies and so forth will be put
Yeah.
forward on our case. You know.
Yeah. Folks, before you go, share the damn live. I believe we've shared some credible information with you guys this morning. Smash that emoji button before you go, and let me go down the road. Partner with us as well so we can do more of these programs.
Yes.
That's it from our end.
Have a good